You walk out on that field today, ask yourself this question. What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's go! We made it! We made it! We made it! We made it! And let's go to the house! And let's go to the house! When I step on the field, I send one message. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. Football is getting hit. That's it. It's gonna be football now. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Let's hunt now. Let's hunt now. Let's go. Let's hunt. We made it. And let's go to the house. And let's go to the house. We're talking about the Jets like we're talking about the Saints. You know, all this, how we the Miami Heat of football. Yeah. The bottom line is you got to buckle up with chin straps. It's embarrassing. Yeah. Don't disrespect the game like that. There's too much crying from that. He's a man. They can be hit just like us. He's a man. You already make the big money. He's a man. Don't cry when you step on the field, man. That's who I did. When I step on the field, I send one message. This is what it feels like. Oh, my bad. You had no work in my world. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. We made it. And let's go to the house. And let's go to the house. It's a wrap. Game over.
Now, this game is not over. It's just getting started right here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. It's Freestyle Friday, and it's Black History Month on the legendary KYOK. And I don't know about you, but I'm excited about it. I'm excited about this day, man. A lot of good stuff going on. Getting ready for Super Bowl 55 this weekend. The Rockets got back in the win column last night. A lot of good stuff going on. And I'm glad to be right here in the middle of it. Special guest Garrick Jones joining us today. Keisha Kelly just confirmed she's going to be with me on Monday. So she and I will be breaking down the Super Bowl on Monday, plus getting into some HBCU stuff. I've got some HBCU stuff for today that I've been promising you, so I'll get into that. But I'm wearing this shirt, Texas Southern University, in honor of my late mentor and a friend, pastor, someone that other people looked up to like a father figure and a mentor themselves, Dr. Guster Booker. Dr. Guster Booker, of course, passed away earlier this week. And just so you know, the homegoing celebration for the founding pastor of Greater St. Matthew Baptist Church will be Friday, February the 12th. Friday, February the 12th at their Southeast campus, which is 7701 Jutland, from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. From 11 a.m. to 5 p.m., Pastor Booker will be lying in state at the Jutland Southeast campus, 7701 Jutland, on Friday, February the 12th, from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Then on Saturday, February the 13th, at the Southwest campus, 14919 South Main Street, there'll be a viewing from 9 o'clock to 10:55, and then the actual homegoing service will start at 11. So again, Friday, February the 12th, Southeast campus, Jutland, 7701 Jutland Street, from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. And then on Saturday, February 13th, at the Southwest campus, 14919 South Main in Houston, there'll be a viewing from 9 a.m. to 10:55, and then the actual homegoing service will begin at 11 for Dr. Guster Booker, the founding pastor of Greater St. Matthew Baptist Church. One church, two locations. And I'm definitely planning to be there. So keep the Booker family in your prayers. Keep the Greater St. Matthew Baptist Church family in your prayers. there are so many other churches and pastors like the one where I pastor, where without him, I wouldn't be there, and I don't know if we would still be there, because he was friends with the founding pastor at Cullen Missionary Baptist Church, Bishop Robert C. Jefferson, and a lot of folks didn't realize he and I had a very close relationship before that as well. So when I came in, it was just a smooth transition to continue that relationship. So he is definitely going to be missed. Definitely going to be missed. So I want to get that out to you. I'll be sharing that information throughout the show. All right. Again, Rockets got back in the win column last night. Rockets got back in the win column last night with a 115-103 win over Memphis. Memphis has been pretty hot. But the Rockets got them last night. Ja Morant and John Wall going head to head was a pretty good battle. That was a pretty good battle to see, with Ja Morant and John Wall going head to head last night. I enjoyed it. There were a couple of times when you could tell Wall was the elder statesman, if you will. John Wall finished with 22 points on 6 for 17 shooting. He was 4 for 9 from 3, and he had 8 assists. And then over on the other side, Ja, 15 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists on 6 for 15. He was cold from the 3, though, 1 for 5. Also had a couple of steals for Ja. So it was a very good game. Rockets went on a 18-3 run right before the half, and really never looked back from there. And that's what it is. It's a game of spurts. So the Rockets were able to go on one and keep it going, and the young Grizzlies just could not bring it back from there. Memphis, though, has been balling. If you have not been paying attention, well, they've lost 2 in a row, but before that, Memphis had won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in a row. Now, they had a bunch of postponements at the end of January. From January 20th through the 27th, they did not play a game, but they had won 7 in a row. They had won 7 in a row and currently riding a 2-game losing streak. So it was a quality win for the Rockets. Keep Christian Wood in your prayer. Suffered an ankle injury on an ankle that had really already been injured, but the young man was so determined to hold down his role as one of the key figures and leaders of this team. He taped that bad boy up and tried to get back out there. Taped that bad boy up and was trying to get back out there. Finished with 17 points, 7 rebounds before the ankle went out on him again. He re-injured it. And waiting on word. I know there was an MRI going to happen today, and they were going to find out what they're going to do with him. The Rockets don't play again until tomorrow night when they host the San Antonio Spurs tomorrow night at 7 o'clock Central. So don't know if Christian Wood is going to be able to pull up in that one. But the young man was out there giving it all he had. And that's the mentality. Again, not throwing any shade at any former players. I know a lot of folks had their issues with James Harden and his toughness and his commitment to the team. And I'll just tell you right now, there are not many guys in the league tougher than Russell Westbrook, tougher than Chris Paul. And say what you want to say about Dwight Howard, but Dwight Howard's got a chip. He's got a ring. And he earned that bad boy. He toughed it out. Did some stuff that folks were like, oh man, that's Bush League. But Dwight Howard has a ring. So all I'm saying is, I'm not throwing shade at other folks, but I love the mentality of this Rockets team right now. You got a lot of players, more than just 4 or 5 or 2, that want to play together and want to tough it out together. Want to play for each other and with each other. And it's clear they believe in their head coach. They believe in Stephen Silas, and I absolutely like it. All right, let's take my first break. Segment brought to you by Lillian, the tax doctor, also African Imports. I'll tell you about them in just a second right here on the lunch break. If you want to get in on this Freestyle Friday, Black History Month, hit me up, 281-453-1000. That's 281-453-1000. It is the lunch break.
My name is Lily. My mom and dad used to fight about money all the time. Then one day, I heard them talking about this guy, some uncle I never knew, called Uncle Sam. Well, they say this Uncle Sam guy wanted them to pay him like $1 gazillion, and they didn't have $1 gazillion. So they called this company they heard on the radio called the Tax Doctor. And the Tax Doctor worked with Uncle Sam's people. I think they're called the IRS. And they are able to work it out so my mom and dad didn't have to pay Uncle Sam very much money at all. So now mom and dad are happy, and I'm happy too. Thanks, Tax Doctor.
If you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS or state, call now and pay less. 800-603-9359. 800-603-9359. That's 800-603-9359. Here's an important COVID-19 school system update for your local area. If you're concerned about your child's education, please pay close attention to this message. The current school systems were not set up for at-home learning. If you're worried that your child may not be getting the grades they need to get ahead, may be losing self-confidence, or you're worried about them getting into a good college because of their grades, help is available to you. Call Grade Potential Tutoring. They can help with in-home or online tutoring and help your child with any subject at every grade level, even for test prep. They're experts in the home tutoring and online tutoring field and confident they can help you and your child get better grades today. Call now for your free consultation. 800-580-7680. 800-580-7680. 800-580-7680. That's 800-580-7680. I am a non-attorney spokesperson representing a team of lawyers who've helped people that have been injured or wronged. Have you been diagnosed with cancer? Are you one of the millions who have taken Zantac or other generic versions of this popular drug to help treat stomach issues? Then pay close attention to this message. The FDA said it detected low levels of a probable cancer-causing chemical known as NDMA in Zantac and other generic forms of this popular drug. They've banned sales and even removed it from the market. If you've been diagnosed with cancer and you've taken Zantac or a generic equivalent, call the legal helpline now. You could receive a free cash award and have your medical expenses covered. And there's no upfront cost to you. They only get paid if you win. So please call now. 800-251-7816. 800-251-7816. 800-251-7816. That's 800-251-7816.
The legendary KYOK 1140 AM and 92.3 FM. The legend continues.
Hi, this is TJ from South Park. I listen to the lunch break with AJ Jones on 1140 AM and 92.3 FM.
All right, y'all, it is Black History Month, and of course that means my favorite store has you ready for all of your African attire needs, and that's African Imports, right there in the Greens Point Mall near the food court. They got specials as low as $4.99 for masks. You can get dashikis for your kids, $14.99 and up. Adults, $29.99 and up. And ladies, those beautiful African dresses are there at African Imports for $39.99 and up. If you got your upcoming Black History Month program, or you're at your school, your event, your virtual event, you got to get over to African Imports. When you do, tell them you heard it with AJ and KYOK. You'll get 10% off your purchase. Call Opie, 281-875-0056. 281-875-0056. African Imports, where Black history is 24/7. Let me go to the phone line. Ferdinand, what's going on, bro?
What's going on, Brother AJ?
How you doing?
Lunch breakers, and happy Super Bowl EV.
Brother, I'm ready for it. I wish it was tonight, man. I'm ready. Let's get it on.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. Forgot to AJ to mention you two guys that's been real special just to be able to know their names. One of them is one of the baddest running backs that ever come through Houston, Mr. Earl Campbell.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, man. Yep.
And the other gentleman is from Pittsburgh, the Bus.
Yeah, Jerome Bettis. Notre Dame boy. A lot of folks forget that Jerome Bettis went to Notre Dame and, was just a truckload at Notre Dame. And then when he got in the league, folks didn't think a running back that big could, be that special. And he just ran it all the way into the Hall of Fame.
Well, AJ, that joker was a beast.
Yeah, he was.
And he told his teammates, man, look, all you gotta do is just get me there. I'll take care of the rest. And man, when you can back your stuff up like Muhammad Ali did, man, it means so much. He was just that guy. He said, man, I'll take you the rest of the way. He did. I mean, AJ, those days were special to me just to see the Bus. I was young and I was like, man, how is this guy? He's big, run and don't get tired. AJ, I never could understand it.
Yeah. I let me just tell you this. You had to have your mind made up if you were going to tackle Jerome Bettis. You had to have your mind. If you weren't sure, you were going to get stuck and left right there. But if you had your mind made up, you had a chance. I didn't say you were going to get it done. You had a chance.
Yeah, absolutely. So those were two of my favorite backs, besides Barry Sanders. There was so many great.
When you bring up Earl Campbell, I got to rethink my Mount Rushmore of running backs. So now Jim Brown. Now I'm Walter Payton. Man, it's hard not to put Earl Campbell on there, but then it leaves me only one spot for guys like Barry Sanders, O.J. Simpson. Now the line gets a little thicker.
Absolutely. So,
and notice I didn't even say Gale Sayers.
Yeah, absolutely. So those guys, man, those are top 5 guys. Now these new era guys, man, they good. But when you go back to those names that we just called, man, those guys were beasts, and they left everything they had on the field.
Yeah. I got to tell you, man, there was a guy his name though, I loved his name. He played for New England back in the day, Sam Bam Cunningham. I loved that dude's name. I really did.
Yeah, they had a lot of nicknames, coming up, and it just was, man, hilarious, man. Some of those names were just funny. They could be, but just match the person and personality. So,
Yep.
Wonderful thing, I guess.
Yep. Yeah, no, I'm glad you got those in, man. Definitely glad you got those in. Did you see any of that Rockets game last night?
No. I work, and I work nights, so it's hard for me to watch anything at night.
Yeah, I think you would have enjoyed that one because, brother, I love seeing them play team basketball. Hey, I hear you, sis. I hear you in the background.
Hey, Jay, well, we'll be watching that Super Bowl. Me, I'm pretty sure it's Milo, and what's the other one?
And Chi-Town. So, yeah, let me go ahead and tell you now. I got to have your picks in. I'm going to try to wait for the last minute. Get them into me by 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock. That way you'll be able to get all the updates on who's healthy, who's not, who's playing, who got COVID, all of that by 4 o'clock on Sunday. You know how to get them to me. And don't forget the final score because I really think it's going to come down to that final score for somebody to win $600. $600.
Absolutely. Again, what is going to happen is one of the difference makers is who can all play on both sides.
Right.
Everybody can go with the GOAT. Everybody can go with Mahomes. But until they get all the guys that they need on their side healthy, that's going to make the difference. We can pick whatever team, but if the guys we need to play can't play, it's still going to make the difference.
Yeah.
I'll give it. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I don't know why. And see, I'm not in it. So I don't know why I'm leaning towards Kansas City. I'm leaning towards Kansas City. I'm just leaning. What that song say? I'm leaning and depending on Kansas City.
Yeah. So I'm gonna send you mine, Charlotte, when you get off.
Okay.
I'll tell you why I picked that particular team.
Okay. All right, man. Well, Ferdinand, best of I don't want to say luck, but we'll see how things work out for you. Okay.
Yeah, I'll see how my favor work out.
There it is. Best of favor for you. There you go. That's what it is.
Happy Black History Month, AJ.
Thank you, Queen. I appreciate it. I got some Black History stuff for y'all today, too.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, AJ, and all I can tell you is love and favor.
Love and favor to you, too, brother. You and Queen, God bless y'all, man.
All right, God bless.
All right. Good folks right there. My king brother, my queen sister. I love them to life. Ferdinand Caller of the Year 2017. First caller ever on this show. I'll never forget it. No matter how many years I do this, I will never forget Ferdinand being the first caller. So that's what we'll do today. We'll take your Super Bowl predictions. If you want to go ahead and tell me who you're going for and why, we'll take those right here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. It is our Freestyle Friday and Black History Month on the show. So we got a lot that we're going to cover today. I've been telling y'all that I put together the coaches' power rankings for the historically black colleges and universities. We'll talk about those today. Plus, I'm going to go through the legendary list of historically black college and university football coaches. You're going to be surprised at some of these win percentages and totals. We'll get to that next right here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK.
That can get you a same-day loan up to $9,500. Well, Global One Tax Services on 6002 Antoine Drive is the tax company that is dedicated to getting you your maximum refund. Call us for an appointment or for our mobile services. That's right, Global One Tax is now mobile. Now, you don't have to leave your home. Call 281-377-5565. That's 281-377-5565. Get your full return. You deserve it. You've earned it. Global One Tax Services. Get ready. Get set. Go global.
Hi, I'm Linda J. I recently purchased 4 new tires from OMG Tires and More, located at 3124 Tidwell between 59 and Jensen. TK got me in and out in less than 30 minutes. While there, I got my car washed. Do you need rims for your car? OMG has them too. OMG Tires and More is your one-stop shop for all your tire needs. So give them a call at 832-767-3211. That's 832-767-3211. Conveniently located at 3124 Tidwell between 59 and Jensen on the north side.
Here's an important COVID-19 school system update for your local area. If you're concerned about your child's education, please pay close attention to this message. The current school systems were not set up for at-home learning. If you're worried that your child may not be getting the grades they need to get ahead, maybe losing self-confidence, or you're worried about them getting into a good college because of their grades, help is available to you. Call Grade Potential Tutoring. They can help with in-home or online tutoring and help your child with any subject at every grade level, even for test prep. They're experts in the home tutoring and online tutoring field and confident they can help you and your child get better grades today. Call now for your free consultation. 800-580-7680. 800-580-7680. 800-580-7680. That's 800-580-7680.
The legendary KYOK 1140 AM. The legendary KYOK 92.3 FM. 2 radio stations in one.
Scott, host of the Not So Christian and Me show. Join me Saturdays for great fun, interviews, music, and the latest news surrounding our world today. We are the show that cares to hear your voice and opinion with real conversation in a no judgment zone. So join me Saturdays from 1 to 2 p.m. on the Not So Christian and Me show right here on the legendary KYOK Radio 1140 AM and the all-new 92.3 FM and KYOKradio.org.
All right, y'all, we're back here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. Don't forget, it is tax season, and Global One Tax Services wants to prepare your taxes. They'll come to your home, and you can get your taxes prepared, so you don't have to get out there in that Rona. Call Shannon Hinton at 281-377-5565. That's 281-377-5565 for Global One Tax Services. Bringing us this segment of the lunch break. You know what I just realized? Y'all gonna kill me. Y'all are gonna laugh at me, and then y'all gonna kill me, and then y'all gonna laugh at me. So you know what, Valencia? I just heard your voice in my head. AJ, don't say that. Don't put that out in the atmosphere. I messed up. I'm waiting on our special guest to join us, Garrick Jones, and I don't think that I even sent him the link to get in. So how do I expect him to get in if he doesn't have the link? You know what I'm saying? So let me do this. Let me hit that. Let me clip that. And then let me go to there. Yeah, there we go. He just sent me a message about the link, and that's on me. I have to apologize profusely, but I got to shout out to my niece Valencia because she's been on me about being careful with my words and stuff that I say, because you don't want to put certain stuff out in the atmosphere. And that was one that I caught myself because I could hear myself saying something negative that I didn't need out there in the atmosphere. But Garrick Jones going to be joining us any minute. We're going to talk about a number of things. But real quick, before we do, I want to look at some of the best black college football coaches ever. Best black college football coaches ever. And let me see. Here we go. Let me get him in here. Hold on. Let me see. Number one on my list. I'll start down and work my way up, because some of these folks you haven't heard of. Let's just be honest. Some of these folks you haven't heard of. W.C. Gordon, Jackson State, had a record of 119, 47, and 5. He was the head coach from 1976 to 1991, and he won the conference coach of the year 6 times during his 15-plus seasons at Jackson State, where he finished with the most wins in program history. He led his team to eight conference titles and 9 playoff appearances, and he was inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame in 2008. 2008. That's W.C. Gordon, Jackson State, 1976 to 1991. Then, right above him, what is that number? We'll go with him at number 5. Number 4, Earl Banks. Earl Banks had a record of 95, 30, and 2 at Morgan State University from 1960 to 1973. Banks couldn't lose at Morgan State. In 14 seasons, he never had a losing record. Check this out. He sent 41 players to the NFL and posted 3 unbeaten seasons and 31 straight wins from 1965 to 1968. Banks was inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame in 1992. Man, hold on. What got me was never had a losing record. 41 players in the NFL, 3 unbeaten seasons, and 31 straight wins from 65 to 68. Earl Banks, Morgan State. Number 3. Marino Kasem. Record, 159 wins, 93 losses, and 8 ties. And he was a head coach at Alabama State, Alcorn State, and Southern University. At Alcorn State, he went 139, 70, and 8. So he got most of his wins at Alcorn State. In 22 seasons at Alcorn, Kasem won 7 conference championships and 4 Black College national championships in 68 and 69. I'm sorry, and went back-to-back in 68 and 69. He was inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame in 2003, and he gave the legendary quote summing up the sport to the Hattiesburg, Mississippi American in 83. He said, and I quote, "In the East, where the Ivy Leaguers are, it's a cultural experience. In the West, with Stanford and all those people out there, it's a tourist attraction. In the Midwest, with Nebraska and those folks, it's a form of cannibalism. But in the South, where we reside, football is a religion, and Saturday is a holy day of obligation." You better come on here. You better come on here. That is none other than Marino Kasem from Alabama State, Alcorn State, and Southern University. Coached from 1963 to 1992. 1963 to 1992, almost 30 years in coaching. Here's another one. Vernon Skip McCain. Vernon Skip McCain went 102, 21, and 5 at Maryland State from 1948 to 1963. 102 wins, only 21 losses, and 5 ties from 48 to 63. Maryland State is now known as Maryland Eastern Shore, and it was a football powerhouse among HBCUs under Vernon McCain. He was inducted posthumously into the Hall of Fame in 2006, and he never had a losing season. Wait a minute. From 1948 to 1963, almost 20 years, never had a losing season. He won 4 conference titles and was 4-0 against none other than legendary head coach Eddie Robinson. Man, imagine that. You could say you were undefeated against the GOAT. I love it. I love it. That is none other than Coach Vernon Skip McCain. All right, here we go. Let's get into the, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we're getting into the top 5. I'm sorry. I counted off too early. We're getting into the top 5 now. We're getting into the top 5 now. You ready? All right, so my number 5 on my list, top Black coaches, HBCUs, all time. Somebody's alarm's going off. It ain't mine. All right, here we go. That's good sound effects. It's like something important is coming on, and this is. All right, at number 5, all time, Billy Nix. Billy Nix, 188 and 57 with 21 ties. He was a head coach at Morris Brown from 1930 to 1935. He was their head coach again from 37 to 39 and then 41 to 42. He was also the head coach at Prairie View from 1945 to 47, from 1952 to 1965. And at Prairie View, he had 123 wins, 36 losses, and 8 ties. In 28 seasons as a head coach, Nix won 6 Black College national championships, including 5 at Prairie View. Where he also served as the athletic director, coach basketball, and softball. Nix would claim 8 SWAC football championships at Prairie View. Atlanta honored him with a Billy Nix Day in 1982. I guess my big question is, where's his induction into college football's Hall of Fame? That's my big question. All right, he's number 5 on my list. All right, here we go. At number 4, Big John Merritt. Coach Big John Merritt won 235 games, only 70 losses, and had 12 ties. He was a head coach at Jackson State from 1952 to 1962, and also head coach at Tennessee State from 1963 to 1983, where he went 172 and 33. Coach Big John Merritt was one of the most accomplished coaches in HBCU history, winning 7 black college national championships. From 1955 until his death in 1983, his teams had 29 consecutive winning seasons. You know who can't even say that? Merritt coached future NFL Hall of Famers like Ed Too Tall Jones, Claude Humphrey, and Richard Dent. Number 4 on my list, Big John Merritt from Jackson State and Tennessee State. Number 3 on my list, top 5. Number 3, Alonzo Jake Gaither. Alonzo Jake Gaither. 203 wins, only 36 losses, and 4 ties at Florida A&M FAMU from 1945 to 1969. Coach Gaither famously said he liked his players to be mobile, agile, and hostile. Mobile, agile, and hostile. For a quarter century, his FAMU team certainly displayed those characteristics. Coach Gaither coached 42 future NFL players, including my favorite, Bullet Bob Hayes, Willie Gallimore, and Ken Riley. The Rattlers went undefeated in 1957, 1959, and 1961 and won 18 conference titles and 6 black college national championships. His .844 winning percentage ranks 11th amongst all coaches at any NCAA level. Not just black colleges, but all colleges. Yeah. Number 3, Alonzo Jake Gaither. Number 2 of my top 5 is none other than Ace Arnett Mumford. Coach Mumford had a record of 233 wins, 85 losses, and 23 ties. He was a head coach at Jarvis Christian from 1924 to 1927. He was the head coach at Bishop College from 1927 to 1929. He was a head coach at Texas College from 1931 to 1935 and Southern University from 1936 to 1961, where he compiled a record of 179, 61, and 13. Coach Mumford's coaching techniques were timeless. His Texas College and Southern teams won a total of 6 black college national championships in 4 different decades. From 1948 to 1951, his Southern team had a 38-game unbeaten streak and won 3 black national titles. In 1948, the Jaguars went 12-0 and beat San Francisco State in the Fruit Bowl. Number 2 on my all-time black college HBCU football coaches, Arnett Ace Mumford. And number 1, you know who? Head coach Eddie Robinson. with a record of 408 wins, 165 losses, 15 ties at Grambling State University, where he was a head coach from 1941 to 42, and then again from 1945 to 1997. Coach Robinson did it all at Grambling. This is not an overworked cliche about an outstanding coach. It's the truth. He lined the field, he directed the band, he taped the ankles, and he sent hundreds of players to the NFL, 4 of whom were Paul Tank Younger, Junius Buck Buchanan, Gary Johnson, and Doug Williams reached the College Football Hall of Fame. Robinson took over in 1941 at the age of 22, and in his second season, the Tigers went 9-0, unbeaten, untied, and unscored on. Under Robinson, Grambling won 9 black college national championships and 17 SWAC titles. Best head coach, in my opinion, college football, but definitely the best head coach in HBCU football, the legendary Eddie Robinson. Got to take a break. It's Black History Month, and I had to get all them in. We'll be right back right after this on the lunch break. You want to get in 281-453-1000, 281-453-1000. It is the lunch break.
1140 AM and 92.3 FM, the legendary KYOK.
Hi, my name is Lily. My mom and dad used to fight about money all the time. Then one day, I heard them talking about this guy, some uncle I never knew, called Uncle Sam. Well, they say this Uncle Sam guy wanted them to pay him like $1 gazillion, and they didn't have $1 gazillion. So they called this company they heard on the radio called the Tax Doctor. And the Tax Doctor worked with Uncle Sam's people. I think they're called the IRS. And they are able to work it out so my mom and dad didn't have to pay Uncle Sam very much money at all. So now mom and dad are happy, and I'm happy too. Thanks, Tax Doctor.
If you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS or state, call now and pay less. 800-603-9359. 800-603-9359. That's 800-603-9359.
Hi, this is Sonia from Southeast Houston, and you're listening to The Lunch Break on 92.3 and KYOK.
All right, y'all, back here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. I appreciate Sonya for doing those drops, man. I appreciate the fact that I have multiple different drops that I can run on the show. Somebody asked me why I wasn't playing the hot drops. No reason. I got multiple sources, multiple options. I even have another young man that's doing another set of drops for me, and I can't wait to get those and get those in. So anyway, it's Black History Month, and you ought to shop for your Black History fashions at African Imports. They got something for the whole family. Masks as low as $4.99, scarves and hats $9.99, dashikis for your kids at $14.99 and up, adult dashikis $29.99, and ladies, those beautiful African dresses $39.99 and up. You got an upcoming Black History Month program, you got to call African Imports, 281-875-0056. That's 281-875-0056. Tell Opie you heard it on KYOK with AJ. You're going to get 10% off your purchases. Stop by African Imports in the Greensport Mall, right near the food court. And again, tell Opie, AJ, and KYOK sent you. All right, y'all. Man, I just felt the nostalgia. I felt the nostalgia. I felt the power, coming from reading those historic Black college and university stats from those coaches. Many of whom, come on now, be honest with me. I know there's some folks out there that do their homework and what have you. It doesn't matter. It's football. So you search out the famed, Black colleges and universities. But I got to tell you, it did something to me to go through and dig down deeper and go past Eddie Robinson and Ace Mumford and Jake Gaither. It did something to me to go past that. In fact, in my digging, some of the stuff that I found was pretty interesting because, you always hear, well, where are the black head coaches? Where's the pool of black head coaches? And I'm looking at this list. And there are 8 historically black coaches that have over 200 wins. Cleve Albert at Tuskegee from 1923 to 1955, 203 wins. Jake Gaither, FAMU, we already talked about him, 204. Willie Bailey at Virginia Union and Norfolk State, 230 wins over his career. Ace Mumford, talked about him, 233. John Merritt, 235. Billy Joe at Central State, Cheney University, and FAMU from 72 to 2010 had 245 wins. In fact, he's number 2 all time to the legend, the GOAT, Eddie Robinson. They got win percentages. Eddie Robinson, 71%. John Merritt, 76%. Ace Mumford, 72%. Of course, Jake Gaither with that 84% winning of his games. I mean, these coaches could not only coach, but they could win. Not only could they coach, but they can win. Let me see. Let me look at something real quick. Good gosh. You got another 20 coaches that have over 100 wins. You got another 20 coaches that have over 100 wins. But yet, many of these coaches were left out of the discussion of great head coaches. Many of them still are. So, I'm honored to be able to honor them. Shooting a message over to Garrick Jones real quick. He should be joining us soon. Let me look at something else real quick. Let me go over here. Let me go to AJ at KYOK Sports. Boom. Right now in at HBCUs, you've got 2 coaches that are actively coaching right now with over 100 wins. You've got Oliver Buddy Paul over at South Carolina State, and I know I've said his last name wrong. I think it's Poe. Oliver Buddy Poe at South Carolina State. He's got a record of 133, 74 losses, a win percentage of 64% right now at South Carolina State. Right behind him, you got Willie Slater at Tuskegee with 120 wins, 39 losses, and a 76% win percentage. But yet the question, where's the pool of black coaches? Where are the candidates? I'll tell you now, I don't want them to get snatched up. I want them to keep putting out great results and great production and great success where they are, unless they want to go. I want them to have the opportunity that they want to have. But I don't want to hear the lame, lazy excuse of, oh, well, we don't know where the candidates are. That means you're not looking. Right behind them, after that, you got Damian Wilson at Bowie State with 77 wins, 43 losses. You got Reginald Ruffin at Miles College with 59 wins, 39 losses. You got Dawson Odoms at Southern, 58 wins, only 31 losses. You know, you got some guys right now at HBCU schools that are getting it done, but you still got people recycling other head coaches. Let me throw something else out at you real quick. Hold on real quick. Let me see something real quick. Okay, here we go. Stay right there. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. Okay, here we go. There is a head coach right now. There's a head coach right now in the NFL who as a college football coach had a record of 13, 18, and 1. No, I'm sorry. That's his college record was 35 and 40, and his professional record as a head coach is 13, 18, and 1. And he's considered a hot young prospect. Cliff Kingsbury in college as a head coach had a record of 35 and 40. In other words, his record was less than 50%. Big Cliff was less than 50% in college, has gotten into the pros as a hot young prospect, and his record 13, 18, and 1 is 42%. But hold on, let me jump just real quick before I get to my special guest. Let me jump back over to my list. You got a guy at South Carolina State, Oliver Buddy Poe, with a 64% win percentage. You got a guy over at Tuskegee with a 76% win percentage. You got a guy over at Bowie State with a 64% win percentage. And folks are still saying, where are the prospects? Where are the black prospects? Can't find them. Won't somebody help me, please? Well, here joining me on the lunch break right now is a man who knows where the money resides. Where the money There's a man on the show right now that's going to tell us where the prospects reside. Right here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK is none other than Garrick Jones, former Houston Texan, former NFL player, former CFL player, founder and commissioner of the State's Developmental Football League, and just a good dude. Garrick, what's going on, man?
A little bit of everything, man. I'm having fun right now, man. We're having a lot of fun.
You are. I see fire coming out of your social media posts every chance I get, bro. You are always up to something. Garrick, tell us what's going on, man.
Well, man, I mean, it's the same situation, man. I'm just enlightening people on what it is that they can and what they can't do. You know, I've been playing chess, man, with a lot of different things. So we have a situation where you have a lot of fans out here in this Houston area and across the globe that are upset with what's going on with the Texans right now. And, you know, we're putting together a few things that'll give the fans a little bit more of a voice. You know, we have yet to unveil everything, but I'm just dropping nuggets here and there, man, to get everybody excited about the possibilities and just bringing everybody together, teaching them the power of a dollar. If you put it together with a lot of other dollars, man, you got some power. So
you got some power, man. To say that the fan base is upset is an understatement. And, you know, I deal with numbers, so ratios matter to me. And right now you got more fans that are irate than ever before in this city. You still got some that, well, whatever. But you got some that are irate, man. And it starts from the top all the way down. And I'm talking about Cal McNair. I'm talking about Jack Easterby and Nick Caserio, man. And it's just, I've never seen this amount of rage at this organization.
Yeah, no, I think this is something that's unprecedented. This is something that I think this is pretty much a first for this amount of what's going on in regards to rage, you know, just disenchantment. I mean, whatever you can think of that would describe a following that is not very satisfied with the job that is going on with ownership. And I get it. It's a lot. It's a lot to take in. But, I think with COVID and I think with the aspect of everything that has gone on, it's forced everybody to really start to analyze what's happening. Yeah. And this is one of the deals that it's always been like this, man, unfortunately. But people are starting to see it and really starting to study this stuff. So now we're in a position where we can firmly take hold of some things, man. It's like the stock market and any other thing that goes on. Anytime there's an economic downturn, this is the time to invest. So we're about to invest a little bit.
Yeah. Garrick Jones joining us here on the lunch break. Hashtag GJ for GM is still alive and well. So, and Garrick, just so folks know, these aren't sour grapes. This isn't shade being thrown at the Texans because of the process and the way that it went. We now know that the process was not what it was, painted out to be. The process was already, we know who we want, we know what we're going to do, and then it was very reactionary after they got the blowback from what they did.
Right. I mean, no, it's nothing like that. I mean, even if I were to be brought in as a general manager, my hands would be tied. Yeah. And that would be a terrible situation for a person like myself because I was clearly coming in to hold people accountable. Yeah. So I would have never made it in this environment, so people got to understand that the thing about it with the GM push was this, it should have never gotten to this point.
Right.
It could very easily have been avoided, if there was a level of truthfulness, a level of transparency, and just, and doing business the right way. And it's unfortunate that, when you alienate your players and alienate your fan base and so on and so forth, people get fed up after a little bit, and I think it's been a slap in the face that the whole process for a lot of people that, were wanting to really, really, really jump in there and try to right this ship. Yeah. And for everything to already be predetermined and premeditated, man, I mean, it's a lot of blowback now, man. So it's time to make some moves and do some drastic things and do some things that have never been done before. And I'm happy to be on the front end of that every time.
Yeah, we're glad you are as well. I want to clear something up because I hear a lot of folks that have now turned on Deshaun Watson, right, including Brett Favre and folks like that, saying that, he's got to realize he's a player and not an owner, not part of the leadership or the management team, what have you. Cal McNair went to Deshaun and told him that he was going to consider his input, not just on the head coach spot, but on the GM spot.
Absolutely.
Because of what had gone on with Bill O'Brien as a head coach and a GM. Deshaun didn't ask for that. Deshaun didn't request that. Deshaun definitely didn't demand that. He was told that by the invitation of the owner himself. Correct?
Yeah, no. That's from my knowledge of everything that has gone on. That's what happened. You look at a guy like Deshaun. He's championship through and through. You won't listen to that guy. I mean, it is what it is. But ultimately, when you have that type of situation, and you put that type of, I think that ownership on a player, the rest of the players follow that and saying, "Hey, man, they want to talk to you. You're our guy. You're our spokesperson." And then when you renege on anything that you brought to the table for said player, now not only has that damaged them and damaged the relationship from upper management to the players, but now he has to try to go back and talk to and explain that to his teammates. And you have now divided a locker room, unfortunately, that was already divided. And I mean, they have checked out. So they are in a situation where there is no structure to this thing. And then when you have people coming out and bashing Deshaun, I mean, there again, man, the NFL and these teams have to understand that the players, along with the fans, are not commodities.
Yeah,
they're people.
Yeah.
So what has to happen is there has to be a level of communication where your players understand that you are looking out for their best interests, and the fans are understanding that you're looking out for their best interests as well. And when that happens,
Garrett, hold on one second.
Yeah, definitely.
1140 AM, KYOK Conroe, and 92.3 FM, K222CX Houston.
The views and opinions expressed on all radio shows broadcast on KYOK are entirely those of the host, guests, and callers who are entirely responsible for all show content and do not in any way reflect the opinions of KYOK Radio, its sponsors, staff, or management.
All right, sorry about that. We are KYOK, Galveston, Conroe, Houston, and we are the legendary KYOK AM 1140, 92.3 FM, and streaming live at kyokradio.org 24/7. So, Garrick, sorry about that. Had to hit that top of the hour ID, but you brought up a real good point because the locker room was already in influx and some turmoil. You just literally let go of the guy who, had these guys, trying to believe that we can turn this thing around. 4 games for this season, you get rid of the head coach and the GM. You bring Romeo Crennel out of the front office. You got all the guys wanting to play for him. You got all the guys wanting to play for Anthony Weaver and Tim Kelly. And you tell this guy, we're going to listen to your input on new head coach and new general manager, and they're going to be separate people. We're not going to get one guy to do everything and have all the power.
Right. And
Deshaun didn't say, you got to pick my guy. Deshaun did his work, gave those names, and they didn't even consider him.
No. And when you do that, like I said earlier, man, you step on that trust. Yeah. And when that type of trust is gone, man, it's hard to get that back. No matter who you bring in the office, no matter who you bring in the building, no matter which players you bring in, they have to be more transparent and more truer to, what's going on. You got to be a man of your word.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that is not happening over there right now. And everybody's fed up with it. And you're starting to see a lot of it. And there's going to be a lot of fallout this season. In addition to what's going on with COVID protocols and all that stuff like that, there's going to be a lot of losses. Yeah. And with that is a lot of opportunity for self-reflection, but also for other groups to come in and say, hey, let us take that off your hands and let us do what we need to do in order to make sure that this team stays here. So, hey, we just want to be a part of the conversation now.
Yeah. We got Garrick Jones joining us, former member of the Houston Texans, former NFL player, CFL player, and the founder and the commissioner of the SDFL. It's almost like they extended an olive branch, and once Deshaun got it home, he found out it wasn't an olive branch; it was poison ivy.
Right.
I mean, it's like you didn't have to lie to me. You could have left him alone. You could have literally not said we want your input.
Right.
They waited at the last minute to try to interview Eric Bieniemy. I don't know if they ever did interview Robert Saleh, and he requested him as well.
Right.
They went through the motions with the couple of folks that they did more like Rooney Rule checks, not honoring the Rooney Rule, but just checking the box for Rooney Rule.
Right.
And then here we are. We bring in Nick Caserio and Jack Easterby, who supposedly Jack Easterby was not going to have any involvement in it. Jack Easterby is literally running it.
Right.
I just don't understand that relationship.
Yeah, man. It was a lot of hearsay. It was a lot of track covering. After you really sit down and just look at the movements of what they were doing, they were covering a lot of tracks. Yeah. And in doing so, they damaged a lot of relationships. I mean, you think about the situation with Dre. You think about my situation, with thinking that they're going to give us an opportunity to come in there and show how we can help rectify this thing. The other guys that they just brought in just because. You look at all those different things, man, all the different players that are former guys that they tapped into. You think about Dungy, you think about Jimmy Johnson, you think about Torn Ferry, all these groups, were basically a cover up. And it's unfortunate because you have now ruined a lot of relationships with a lot of good key people. And when that happens, how do you get that back? There's no way to really get that back. All you had to have done at the beginning of it was say, hey, Nick is our guy. We went after him 2 years ago. We're going to bring him in. And just as a man, understanding what that meant, talking to your players before they go on vacation, because they don't want to hear anything from social media in regards to the team. And that's the hardest thing to do, is to hear from social media before you hear from the people that, said that, hey, we got your back. We love you. We're this, we're that. And they'll tell you that to your face, but it's an entirely different situation. So I don't think this thing is repairable, to be honest with you. And as a player, in regards to Deshaun, he's a business. He's a businessman, and he understands the dynamic of the power of his voice now. So he's a Generation Z player, and there's a disconnect between these Generation Z players and these baby boomer owners. and they are losing the battle because these Gen Z guys are starting to understand their worth, and they're doing a lot of research. So there's a lot of information out there at everybody's fingertips right now, and they got to understand that these guys understand that they can pull back because they are the engine. Same thing with the fans in regards to their dollar. Once you awake that sleeping giant, you're in trouble.
And you got to deal with it. You got to deal with it. You got to deal with it. Garrick Jones joining us here on the lunch break. And Garrick, it's interesting that you say that. I listen to a lot of different radio shows. I hear some guy call into Jim Rome and, get in his Texas twang. And I hope the Jets stay away from that Deshaun Watson because he quit on them Texans. He might quit on them too. He quit on the Texans. The Texans literally quit on and lied to him. So why all the backlash towards Deshaun? There's some folks out there that are the carriers of the water for the Texans. Whenever they want to leak negative information, they go through certain people right here in town. We know who they are. And it's almost like, when they started the rumor Deshaun's holding the ball too long.
Right.
That thing caught fire. And now that's all people say about it. Now it's Deshaun quit on the team or is quitting on the team.
Yeah, it's always a narrative. It's always going to be that. And it's unfortunate because you look at the fans. The fans are in their own bubble.
Yeah.
Then you look at the players. The players are in their bubble. Then you look at the owners of the teams, and they understand that if they are printing what these players are making, you have an entire group over here that feels like, hey, these guys shouldn't feel entitled to do anything other than play the sport because they're making all of this money. And as fans, the fans are paying a lot of money to come be entertained. So then you have the owners and just the league in general that you don't know what they're making. You know what I'm saying? I mean, where are the books? So now you got a group of individuals that are upset with the players for even speaking their mind and thinking outside of the box or anything other than X's and O's, and they're just battling with each other. So you're going to have that until it's being able to be exposed to it. Like a lot of the fans in the Texans, I'm teaching them each and every day. I'm breaking things down for them to really understand what's going on. So when it comes down to a player, they understand what's going on with that player. It's a job. And at the same time, how would you feel if your boss came to you and said, hey, we're going to take everything that you're saying and we're going to implement that. And then all of a sudden it's a different situation and scenario. You're not going to want to be there long. So everything is so emotionally charged. And there's not much logic in a lot of these articles and in a lot of these arguments. It's one of those deals where, hey, you got the players against the fans and the fans against the players. We pay your salary, blah, blah, blah. I get that. But here's what's really going on. And once they really get it, they understand it. So, man, we just got to keep educating, man, because it's time for a change. Definitely.
I'm glad you're doing what you're doing because when I look at all the people that are running to the Brett Favres out there and the Hasselbacks out there and, some of the coaches out there who all they want to say is shut up and play and this, that, and the other. Brett Favre is the biggest hypocrite right now out there. And I called him out by name. I'm not saying anything on my show that I didn't point directly at Brett Favre.
Right.
Listen, how many times did Brett Favre want to be traded because he didn't get what he wanted? How many times did Brett Favre try to force a trade so that he could be where he wanted to be? How many times did Brett Favre hold multiple organizations hostage? Are you going to play? Are you not going to play? Are you going to play? And then, by the way, he hasn't had anything to say about Carson Wentz demanding a trade.
Right.
So I'm glad that you have a different voice out there than the Brett Favres and the Hasselbacks and some of these coaches out there, former coaches out there that seem to always have a strong comment when it's one group, but have nothing to say when it's somebody else.
Yeah, man, it's unfortunate, and it's one of those deals where you're pitting one group against the next group, and it shouldn't be like that. Anytime you put that helmet on, we all the same color. Period.
Right.
And that's just how it has to be. And it's about accountability across the board. So holding Brett Favre accountable, we got to do that. I mean, that's kangaroo court. That's the rules of engagement in the league. You know what I'm saying? So
can't nobody say I didn't call him by name because I called him right. Can I get a quote? I just want to quote you on record. All I want to know what you think about Carson Wentz wanting to trade. That's all I need to know.
Right.
Let's talk about Deshaun real quick. What are Deshaun's real options if he does not want to play under this administration, this leadership? Let me say it like this. What can Deshaun do if he doesn't want to play under Jack Easterby's team?
Well, he can sit. He'll have plenty of options. The thing about the NFL is this, and I hate the analogy of it, but when you don't play, you don't have those miles on you, right?
Mhm.
So you're always either looked at as a horse or
Mhm.
this or that, and you don't have that amount of miles on you for that season. So he's a young man, and his skill set won't deteriorate considerably by not playing. So it really works in his favor to stand his ground and
Mhm.
and really have this organization and as well as the league understand that we are not commodities. If it's going to be this, it needs to be explained from day one, and from there that's how we'll approach it. But if we are looking to really win, and that's what we're really here for, instead of just the dollar, you need to let us know that. That
Yeah.
way we can handle ourselves accordingly. Don't have me coming in and thinking that it's about winning and it's about the money.
Yeah.
And the NFL, like I said, is one of those situations where you can have a losing team and you're still profitable.
Still making money.
And then that's where the fans come in.
Long time.
Right.
And never won an AFC championship game, let alone a Super Bowl. Let
Right.
me take a quick break. I want to come back with you, Garrick, and ask you a little bit more right here on the lunch break. If you want to get in, if you got questions for Garrick Jones, 281-453-1000. That's 281-453-1000. It's Black History Month and Freestyle Friday on the lunch break.
Hi, my name is Lily. My mom and dad used to fight about money all the time. Then one day, I heard them talking about this guy, some uncle I never knew, called Uncle Sam. Well, they say this Uncle Sam guy wanted them to pay him like $1 gazillion, and they didn't have $1 gazillion. So they called this company they heard on the radio called the Tax Doctor. And the Tax Doctor worked with Uncle Sam's people. I think they're called the IRS. And they're able to work it out so my mom and dad didn't have to pay Uncle Sam very much money at all. So now mom and dad are happy, and I'm happy too. Thanks, Tax Doctor.
If you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS or state, call now and pay less.
Got one more after this,
800-603-9359. 800-603-9359. That's 800-603-9359. Here's an important COVID-19 school system update for your local area. If you're concerned about your child's education, please pay close attention to this message. The current school systems were not set up for at-home learning. If you're worried that your child may not be getting the grades they need to get ahead, may be losing self-confidence, or you're worried about them getting into a good college because of their grades, help is available to you. Call Grade Potential Tutoring. They can help with in-home or online tutoring and help your child with any subject at every grade level, even for test prep. They're experts in the home tutoring and online tutoring field and confident they can help you and your child get better grades today. Call now for your free consultation. 800-580-7680. 800-580-7680. 800-580-7680. That's 800-580-7680.
KYOK 1140 AM and 92.3 FM. The legend continues.
Now, back to the lunch break.
All right, y'all, back here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. Of course, it's tax time, and Global One Tax Services wants to prepare your taxes. Get these folks because they know what they're doing, and they can even come to your home, and you get your taxes done there. Call Shannon Hinton at 281-377-5565. That's 281-377-5565 for Global One Tax Services. Tell me you heard it right here on the lunch break and the legendary KYOK. Garrick, back with you as we're talking about the mess that's over there, Kirby and Fannin. I called it Jack Easterby's team because it's clearly his team. And I mean, the fans are starting to pull out old video clips of him, I guess trying to preach or something, man. It's scary, man. Where did this guy even come from? But more importantly, Deshaun and his options. I know a lot of folks say, that if he sits out a year, that's going to be money that he'll never get back. And, quarterbacks that don't play and sit out all this time, they're never the same and what have you. Is that, you're a player. Is that realistic or is that just fan speak or perception, if you will?
Nah, man, I made it to the NFL without a senior season of college ball. He's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
He'll be all right. He'll definitely be okay. Like I said, the fact that he's not getting the wear and tear on his body is really good for him. Because football is a brutal sport. You know, it's a gladiator sport. You're supposed to get hurt. And with the way he plays and with the disarray that O-line was in, he'll be okay. It'll be a lot better for him. You know, and it'll give him an opportunity to really sit down and look at his options as to what can go on and really, you know, figure this thing out completely. And people, you know, like I said, they're going to talk, they're going to say what they say from a fan standpoint, but a lot of them have never laced those cleats up, you know, and it's a lot of he say, she say. I get it. You know, it's good to talk about it, you know, and it gives him something to do, but he'll be all right.
Yeah. Garrick Jones joining us here on the show. Garrick, I like the way you kind of put that because a lot of folks feel like because they do what they do on their job, it's the same thing for these athletes. Right. One is a negotiated contract. The other one's an application. Right. You know what I mean? So there's a whole different level for certain people. If you put out an application, you don't know about a negotiated contract. You don't know about what folks are able to do. And then here's where I want to get to. Some people's principles are more important than the money. Deshaun may be at a place where his principle is more important than $20 million.
Right.
If he's in a position to do that, more power to him.
Absolutely. No, I get that. And that's what it's about. A lot of people think just because they're getting paid, you know, from the NFL, that's it. Nah, they have endorsement deals. There's so many different things that can go on. And his agent is a sharp cat, young guy, man. He's forward thinking. Really forward thinking.
Bro. He ain't no joke, man.
Nah,
for real.
Right. And that's what you need in your corner, somebody who understands what you are bringing to the table. Yeah. No case in point, you know, with 200 million followers, Deshaun Watson is very easily bringing over $250 million per game on his own to the Texans. So, and then you turn around and you got his contract. It's some uneven aspects of that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm bringing in 200 million a game, and then I'm coming out of there with 150 over 4 or 5 years. Nah, it doesn't work like that. So you really got to understand the dynamic of what these numbers mean to these organizations and what it means to these players. That's the reason why players are wanting to get as much money as they can, because that window is very short. They can't play forever. And then on top of that, the amount of money that's being generated for these ball clubs. And then there's the next man up. You know, as soon as you're done, you're pretty much done. You know, so people got to understand that, but they have to be educated on it in order to understand exactly how deep this dynamic is.
Garrett, with that being said, do you expect to see more players sign shorter term deals so they're not locked into potential situations like we got with the Texans? Like clearly, you know, the Rams were with Jared Goff and you know, some of those other guys where you think you're in a spot, Carson from Philly, you think you're in a spot where you're going to be for a while. And the reality is, as soon as the next best thing comes, you're out the door. So is that what you foresee, or what do you foresee, I should say?
Nah, I absolutely foresee shorter contracts, because you think about it. Anytime you have a long-term deal, that long-term deal is structured in order to build a winning organization. Right. But if that organization isn't necessarily dedicated to being a winning organization as opposed to being a profitable organization, you know, we got a problem. We have a definite problem. We have a disconnect. I'm here for one thing and you're here for a totally different other thing. So I think these contracts are going to get shorter. And then definitely with COVID, the way going into 2021, there are going to be a lot of one-year deals like they were last year. And I think that trend is going to continue because these athletes are smart, you know, and the thing about it is, even though you have a long-term deal, the moment somebody gets emotional about something, you know, they're going to try to get you out of there. You know, it just is what it is. So there's not a lot of logical approach going on in these upper management positions right now. It's a lot of emotion. And it's hard to win with nothing but emotion. You know, it has to be some logic somewhere, and that's across the board. That's top to bottom. And it's not working. It's really not working. You know, the loan contracts are good, but they're not working, you know, in regards to teams being true to what they want to do and what they said they may want to do. Yeah. And these guys are getting locked into these long-term deals like Deshaun. You know, he feels slighted at this point, man. He's like, you tricked me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I get it.
You lied to me, but I'm supposed to honor you. I'm supposed to honor my commitment to you. Right. And I'm going to leave the fans out of it because they don't get it. But I really wanted to touch on that. Let's take another quick break. When we come back, I want to talk about options as far as landing spots. If he's able to get a trade, let's talk about what that could look like. We got Garrick Jones joining us. I see some of your text messages. I'll get those on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM.
Baby, I got your money. Are you looking for a tax company that will get you the maximum credits and deductions? Or a tax company that can get you a same-day loan up to $9,500? Well, Global One Tax Services on 6002 Antoine Drive is the tax company that is dedicated to getting you your maximum refund. Call us for an appointment or for our mobile services. That's right, Global One Tax is now mobile. Now, you don't have to leave your home. Call 281-377-5565. That's 281-377-5565. Get your full return. You deserve it. You've earned it. Global One Tax Services. Get ready, get set, go global.
Hi, I'm Linda J. I recently purchased 4 new tires from OMG Tires and More, located at 3124 Tidwell between 59 and Jensen. TK got me in and out in less than 30 minutes. While there, I got my car washed. Do you need rims for your car? OMG has them too. OMG Tires and More is your one-stop shop for all your tire needs. So give them a call at 832-767-3211. That's 832-767-3211. Conveniently located at 3124 Tidwell between 59 and Jensen on the north side.
KYOK 1140 AM. The legendary KYOK 92.3 FM. 2 radio stations in one.
I'm Larry Scott, host of the Not So Christian and Me
All right,
show.
last one.
Join me Saturday. Great fun, interviews, music, and the latest news surrounding our world today. We are the show that cares to hear your voice and opinion with real conversation in a no judgment zone. So join me Saturdays from 1 to 2 p.m. on the Not So Christian and Me show right here on the legendary KYOK Radio 1140 AM and the all-new 92.3 FM and KYOKradio.org.
Hey, what's going on? This is Lecrae, and right now you're listening to The Lunch Break.
All right, y'all, back here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. I'm AJ Jones. It's Black History Month, and it's Freestyle Friday. And I got to shine the flashlight on one of the best radio shows out there, and that's the Not So Christian in Me show, featuring Larry Scott, his wife Denise Scott, Natasha Marie, and their team every Saturday right here from 1 to 2. Phenomenal. Hey, Garrick, I got a chance to be a guest co-host on the show where I was in there shouting. I'm on the Christian in Me show.
I love it.
It really is a good show, man. Very, very good show. Got to
Right.
check it out. They do a great job. In fact, I'm gonna tell them about you, man. So they might have to have you on the show with all.
Man, I would love to be a part of it, man.
Let me tell you something. You'll love that one. They do an amazing job. So yeah, I had to shout out to them. So of course, a lot of different stories out there, what have you, and that's why I follow the agent David Mulugeta. I love that brother right there. He gets it in.
Yeah, he's tough. I like it.
Or supposedly heard that Deshaun would not be opposed to a trade to the Jets or Miami.
Okay.
And given what we saw with the Matthew Stafford, Jared Goff trade, the Rams gave up 2 firsts, a third, and a first-round pick quarterback in return for Matthew Stafford, who's got a few miles on that tire.
Right.
On those tires. So reportedly, the Texans want 2 firsts, 2 seconds, and 2 young defensive players to go with the deal for Deshaun Watson. Realistically, what do you think a trade for Deshaun Watson would look like?
I think 2 firsts, 2 seconds, and possibly 2 thirds would be good. And the reason I say that is, with your D linemen, having young D linemen, a lot of times you want to have guys that have been around a bit, but they have to fit the mode of what you're trying to do. And a lot of times it's a lot easier to find those guys in the draft. Granted, these guys have already been scouted that are playing, and they have, departments that scout, pro players. But I think it may be easier to just go straight through the draft and bring in the younger guys. The only thing with that is the lack of development, because you're losing your preseason games and you don't have the opportunity to bring them along as quickly as you would like to. But at the end of the day, if you're bringing in draft picks, they're here to ultimately replace the guys that you have. So you're just going to have to throw the youngsters out there and let them learn on the fly. But I think that would be, sufficient. It might be some teams that'll just jump out there and say, hey, look, you can have the whole form. Let us have him, and then we'll kind of work around that. But there again, it's all predicated on leadership. If you have the correct leadership, you can take a group of guys who are there for a reason. They're professionals. They can get it done, but they just have to have the right people. So for Deshaun, it has to be going to an organization with the right mindset, with the right people. And definitely a New York situation would be good with Robert Saleh out there, and him bringing that motivation and that fire, or that Miami situation. Those guys are contenders now, and they have a fiery bunch in regards to coaching and just the identity that they have. So he definitely wants to go somewhere where there's an identity, but also there's a business decision behind it. Do you go to New York and get taxed, or do you go to Florida? Where it's kind of similar to what's going on here. So.
Yeah. You know what? That's why I love you, bro. That's why I love you, because listen, some folks talk about dotting the I's and cross the T's. You don't even know what T to cross and what I to dot, and you know those things, Gary.
Right.
Man. I'm not a fan of New York. I'm not a fan of the ownership there.
Yeah.
To me, they're one bad. Well, they make a bunch of bad decisions, but they're one bad decision away, just like the Texans were.
Right.
I love Robert Saleh.
Yeah.
I believe he's going to turn that organization around.
Yeah,
but when you look at that Miami situation,
and Miami looks good, man.
Flores, and when you look at how that team is on the come up,
right?
You throw Deshaun in there,
right?
And all of a sudden it looks real different.
Yeah, and you got Greer out there, man. So yeah, he's gonna look out for him and make sure that this is what it is, and this is why we love you here, and this is what we're doing, and this is how we see you fitting into the mold and being the field general that you are, and being the guy that you're going to be off the field as well. So I think there's a level of transparency and it's a level of honesty out there. The players really want to play for him. Yeah. So I think that Miami really nudges and edges everything out. And I think that'll be a comfortable situation for him just to get in there and do what he does and not have to worry about all of the ins and the outs and the intricacies of everything that goes on around him with the organization, because he's being thrust in a position where he has to think about stuff he really didn't even really need to think about. You know what I'm saying? So it's not fair to the players. It's not fair to Deshaun. And it's not fair to the fans, man, what's going on here with the Texans.
David, I'm thinking about David Grubb right now. Garrick Jones joining us here on the lunch break, former member of the Houston Texans, played the NFL, CFL, and is the founder and the commissioner of the SDFL. And what would that mean for Tua, though? Would the Miami Dolphins have to trade Tua and those picks we talked about to the Texans to be able to facilitate a trade for Deshaun? Or does Miami say, Tua is not part of this deal. We'll give you those picks, but we want Deshaun and Tua in our quarterback room?
You want the GM answer, or do you want to just regular? What you want?
All your answers.
Well, if I were GM, I keep Tua, because anytime there's some type of a drop off or something happens to Deshaun, it won't be a big time drop off with the play calling and the schemes. Right. So you won't lose much. Right. Anytime you have a player that's a pocket passer, and then you have a Deshaun Watson, and he's your backup, you have a pocket passer that's a backup, you have to switch up your entire scheme to fit that particular quarterback. And that's too hard in this day and age. You don't have enough time to do that. So I would keep Tua. I would bring in Deshaun, and then I let go of those draft picks, man. And you're looking at something that's proven versus something that's potential. Yeah. I'll go with proven any and every day out of the week, man. Proven is where you want to go.
I like that, because as much as I wasn't a fan, and I know you got a lot of brothers that went to A&M. As much as I wasn't a fan of Ryan Tannehill, when he got to Tennessee, and they made the transition from my guy over to Tannehill, because they had similar skill sets, it was seamless, man. And that thing went up from there. Mariota to Tannehill, that thing went up instead of a rough adjustment period.
Right, right. That's what you want.
I would love to see Tua stay in Miami with Deshaun. That'd be a heck of a quarterback room, man.
Ooh, man, who you telling now? That you got two guys that are championship caliber guys. So that right there breeds confidence in the actual team itself. So if something happens, they're still in that frame of mind. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of psychological aspects of it. a lot of advantages to keeping those guys. So you have to look at all those intricacies. You can't really just fall in love with, all right, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and we're just shipping guys out and shipping guys in. It doesn't work like that. And that's the situation of having that microwave mentality. You'll get microwave popcorn every day, but I like steak and lobster, and I'm not cooking in the microwave.
Come on, bro. Come on. I like your taste. I like your taste.
There you
Garrick
go.
Jones joining us here on the lunch break. Black History Month Freestyle Friday. Another team that has been prominently mentioned has been the San Francisco 49ers. Again, talking about the draft picks and what have you, and then them sending Jimmy Garoppolo to Houston for Deshaun Watson going out there to California. What are your thoughts about a move like that to that organization?
Well, it's all on leadership. You know, if they are able to sell Deshaun on it and he be comfortable with that, that can definitely be a scenario. But then again, you know, these taxes, I'm in another tax bracket. So what are we talking about? You see what I'm saying? So you got to really be, you have to be really a salesman. But I mean, the thing with John Lynch and the rest of the guys, Shanahan and everybody that's there, it's that's a mixture that really works, and it's a player rich type of situation. It's really for the players because those guys understand it. But it all boils down to, you know, the dollars at that point. You know, it's like, hey, I really like these guys, but you know, hey, I might have just sat out a year, so okay, what we doing? You know what I'm saying? So you have to look at all those here.
I don't need part of my money after sitting out a year. I need all my money.
Right. Exactly.
You know, it's funny that you talk about John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan that way.
Yeah.
I'm not fans. I'm not fans. I'm not saying they're bad people.
Right.
I'm just saying I'm not fans.
I get it. But from a player standpoint, you know, Lynch knows what it's about. So he's gonna be a lot better than somebody who read a book about it.
Okay.
And that's what I'm saying. So
that's going next.
You as a player, you want to go somewhere where they understand what the workload is.
Yeah.
I always want to be around guys who knew what it felt like to be in training camp at 4 a.m. and you really contemplating going home.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But the moment you get up and you're hitting a grown man at 8 a.m. when other people are drinking coffee at 8 a.m. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, do I keep going or all right? So those are the type of guys that I try to gravitate to, and those are the guys that I know players play 100% harder for. The guys that understand the game and have been around it. So that would be the scenario and situation.
You know what? That's why I love having you on, bro, because you just painted a picture that not many folks get to see.
Right.
You know, about that early in the morning. I remember being in the swimming pool at 4 o'clock in the morning, Tulane, and I hated it, bro. I hated it. I was like, man, I don't even want to do this no more.
Yeah, so, it'll make you, you know, really think, is this the situation for me? And a lot of people aren't mentally tough enough to go through that and don't have a winning mindset like that. That's why companies pay top dollar to send their employees to these different seminars and conferences to learn how to be competitive when we're born with it. Yeah. So it's a deal, man. It's a deal. People just have to understand it and learn it. You know what I'm saying?
That's solid, bro. I like that. All right, let me get to this team that I don't care what happens. No, Deshaun. No, David. No, none of y'all. No. John Gruden spoke up the other day, you know, walked the line between what he could say and what he couldn't say. And he basically said that he doesn't think the Texans are going to trade Deshaun, that, you know, they are smarter than that. They realize that Deshaun Watson's don't fall off trees every day.
Right.
But it's predicated on would the Raiders be interested in the Deshaun trading Derek Carr back to his brother's former team with the draft picks. And again, you got Gruden, you got Mike Mayock, who read a book. Read book. Did he play? He played though, didn't he?
I think he did. I think he played. I think he might have had a cup of coffee.
I don't think he played well because I don't know nothing about it.
You have to go back and research a lot of guys, man. I get it. You know what I'm saying? So,
I mean, literally, I'm so glad Deshaun has a no trade clause because trade to the Raiders to me would be horrible. It would be horrendous. It would almost be like they trying to get back at Deshaun for wanting out.
Right. And an organization very well could look at it like that if there is no clauses in that contract like that. You know, and that's the thing. When you have organizations that have your career in the balance and they're holding your career in their hands, say, for instance, if you're a player and you get X amount of yards, you get bonuses. those teams can sit you so you don't get your bonuses. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not predicated on your play. It's just you're not going to get your bonus, or we're going to cut you before we have to pay you. So if we're upset with you and you are upset with us, we'll tell you what, we'll go ahead and send you out here to purgatory somewhere and just let you just flounder around just because we're in our feelings and we're emotional. And I'm glad that they had that in there. Like I said, the young agent that he has, he's sharp. He's sharp and he's tough. And he's not going to budge on a lot of different things because he understands what the worth is. And now Deshaun is really buying into that, as well as a lot of other players. And once these players really figure out what's going on, the NFL is going to have to make some significant changes. And you have to adapt or eventually you die. And that's the situation, man. I'm anxious to see how this thing plays out because it's going to fuel a lot of what I have going on with this crowdfunding situation that we're about to put in play to give these fans some ownership in this deal too. So it's about to happen.
Yeah, man, I like it. Garrick Jones joining us here on the lunch break. Garrick, what were your thoughts about the Matthew Stafford and the Jared Goff trade? What were your thoughts about that when you saw that come down?
Man, I was shocked. But once I heard exactly what was going on, I got it. I understood what was happening. There's a lot of emotion in that trade. A lot of people don't understand all the ins and the outs of it. But when you're a player, you get a chance to hear a lot more than what is being talked about, in the media. So it's one of those deals where, the youngster, they had to get him out of there because it was going to be a lot of conflict within the organization and the people that he was close to each and every day. So they had to go ahead and make a move in regards to that, and bring somebody else in. And that's where, the whole Stafford situation, I think that's going to be a better energy for what's going on around there. And it's always good to see something new. So I think it'll work out for all parties involved. But yeah, it was time, man. He's a good quarterback. Got them where they needed to be, and very well could have been the one that got them to the Super Bowl and got them over the hump. But if you have some static and some conflict, in that space, they're gonna get rid of those players, a lot sooner than those coaches that are doing some things. So, that's kind of what happened, man.
Gotcha. Garrick Jones joining us here on the lunch break. A lot of people talking about Tom Brady and his legacy and what have you. There's a lot of other guys who have a lot riding on Sunday's game.
Right.
Similar to what you talked about. People tried to run them out of the league. Some of their bad decisions off the court, off the field, all cost them their opportunity. What do you think it feels like to have this opportunity for an Antonio Brown, for Leonard Fournette, and Ndamukong Suh, some of the other guys over on Kansas City, Le'Veon Bell, up in Kansas City. What are your thoughts about those guys?
Well, for those guys, man, this is like a rebirth for them. To go through the adversity that they've gone through, whether it be, being at ends with an organization or not, performing up to standards of what's set for them when they come into the league and what they set for themselves and just not fitting in. To be in this position and play at this level with this type of a game is validation. And not only is it validation, but that is a part of your resume that they can't take away. So when it comes down to contract negotiations for 2022, they have some leverage now, as opposed to before the season. Of course, there's going to be that 2021 season, but this season coming up is going to be a wash. Nobody has any money. You know what I'm saying? So going into 2022, you get a chance to take that with you, plus what you do this year coming up. And you add that together. Now, hey, what are we talking about long term or significant deals? So it's really going to help these guys. And some of these guys can ride off in the sunset and say, man, I did it. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of the deal, man. I'm proud of all of the guys for sticking in there and doing some things and just continuing to play on. Like Fournette, man, he's really shown up when he got that opportunity. And that's why I was really high on him. If I had the opportunity to come in as a GM, I was going to get him. I promise you. And now people are seeing it.
Yeah. I definitely got you. You and Eric Bieniemy both have that in common where you just didn't get a chance. Not that you weren't qualified, not that you had anything that precluded you. You just didn't get a chance.
Right.
What say to Eric if you and he were on the phone together? What would you say to Eric about what just happened, about this chance not coming y'all's way?
I tell him to hold on. I'm working. Hold on. We're about to get ready to shock the world with some of the things that we're about to do in order to really facilitate a serious change in what's going on with the NFL. And we're going to rectify a lot of these different things that have happened in the past. You know, for him not to get an opportunity is a slap in the face. For somebody to try to bring up anything that has happened to him in his past or happened with him in his past is just disrespectful. And for them not to really look at him as a solid head coach or even a great head coach is a slap in the face because of his body of work and things that he's done and what he's done and the people that have come to bat for him. So that right there, again, the same thing with DeAndre Hopkins. When that happened last March, I raised my hand and said, I want to be the GM of the Houston Texans. Here's why. Now we're talking ownership now. And that's where the mindset is. The gloves are off. It could have been a lot easier, but we're about to make some things happen.
Man, my girl said it could all be so simple, but you'd rather make it hard. So we got to take a quick break. We're going to be back with Garrick Jones right here on the lunch break. Somebody just called in. Call back 281-453-1000. That's 281-453-1000. This segment brought to you by Lily and the Tax Doctor right here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK.
You're listening to 1140 AM and 92.3 FM, the legendary KYOK.
Hi, my name is Lily. My mom and dad used to fight about money all the time. Then one day, I heard them talking about this guy, some uncle I never knew, called Uncle Sam. Well, they say this Uncle Sam guy wanted them to pay him like $1 gazillion, and they didn't have $1 gazillion. So they called this company they heard on the radio called the Tax Doctor. And the Tax Doctor worked with Uncle Sam's people. I think they're called the IRS. And they're able to work it out so my mom and dad didn't have to pay Uncle Sam very much money at all. So now mom and dad are happy, and I'm happy too. Thanks, Tax Doctor.
If you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS or state, call now and pay less. 800-603-9359. 800-603-9359. That's 800-603-9359.
Hey, what's up? This your boy James Fortune, and you are listening to The Lunch Break. Keep it locked.
Yeah, y'all keep it locked right here on the lunch break. But also remember, it's Black History Month, and all your African fashions are right at my favorite store, African Imports. They got specials going on all month long. Kid dashikis, $14.99 and up. Adult dashikis, $29.99 and up. Dresses, ladies, $39.99 and up. African Imports right there in the Greenspoint Mall near the food court. They are a phone call away, 281-875-0056. That's 281-875-0056. Tell them you heard it right here on the lunch break at KYOK, and they'll give you 10% off your purchase. Garrick, let's go to the phone real quick. Hello, you're live on the lunch break. Who's this?
Hey, it's Keith Hennig.
Hey, Keith Hennig, caller of the year 2020. What's going on? You're on with AJ and Garrick.
I realize that two very knowledgeable NFL gentlemen. Garrick, I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
One more game this year. Who do you like Sunday evening and why?
I'll give the edge to the Buccaneers, man. And here's why. That team is playing very inspired right now, and they've come alive at the right time. And then you got TB12. You know, whether you hate him or you love him, he's who he is. I think if they're able to withstand a lot of these quick, fast punches that KC has for them, I think they'll be able to withstand what's going on, and I think they'll be able to pull it out. Now, I don't think it's going to be a huge victory. It may be a field goal, you know, or something like that, but I think they'll be able to pull it out because that's just the pedigree of what they're playing right now. And I think Todd Bowles is going to have that defense flying around, man. I think they're going to be wired up. So I'm anxious to see how it goes, man. I'm anxious to see it.
Well, I'm a decades-old Buccaneers fan, and you just warmed the cockles of my heart because I believe like you believe. I'm not a Tom Brady guy, but if he wants to bring a Lombardi trophy to one Buck place, we'll be happy to make for it. And We appreciate your support. Thank you.
You got it, man. Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
All right. AJ, you take care. Breakers, have a great weekend.
You too, Keith. Had it. Caller of the year 2020. That's my guy. I had to let him get every bit of that in because he is a long-time, diehard Tampa Bay Buccaneer fan. So he's got to get to have his moment right now.
Man, I'm telling you, man.
Win. I'm leaning towards Kansas City, but I won't be mad if the Bucs win for Mike Evans, Galveston's own.
Exactly.
Kong Su, for Leonard Fournette, man. I'm telling Louisiana connection, what have you, man. I've talked to people who knew him growing up,
right?
And what Tom Coughlin tried to do to that young man,
right?
And painted him out to be, and like you said, sat him down as healthy scratches when money was on the line.
Right.
Talked about voiding his contract, recouped bonus money back from this man. It was offensive to people who knew this young man and knew that was not his character. And for this man to just try to write a new story for him was just inappropriate, man. And I'm glad to see him at the brink of picking up that biggest trophy you can ever get.
Right. I mean, it's just it's a testament of his fortitude and his character. And it's a lot of times that's a part of the growth and maturation for the players. They have to go through so many different things. And it's unfortunate that when these coaches don't like you, they can really dictate what happens. It's similar to what went on with me here in Houston. My position coach, for some reason or other, didn't really like me, but I thought I was a likable guy. I was doing everything that was asked of me. But once I found out that, Bob McNair came down and said, hey, look, Garrick Jones is my guy. You're the guys you brought with you are going to have to go to another situation. I quickly figured out that was a lot of politics over the playing time. So, hey, man, it's like that, man. Tom Coughlin cut me for being 5 minutes early to a meeting.
I remember you telling me that. I remember you telling. What is that? Tell us that story, man. What's that about? What was that about?
Well, I was a rookie, man, and there was a meeting, and apparently you need to be 10 minutes early, and that's on time. So I was 5 minutes early, and I came in the auditorium where everybody was, and everybody was sitting there looking at me, and he just waved me on down to the front of the stage and said, guys, this is a clear representation of what we don't want in this organization. And this was after I went across the country chasing scouts and doing everything I do without a senior season and made it to the NFL. So trust me, I understand it completely, man.
Yeah. Let me tell you something, man. Slim Thug put out a video, and I can't play none of the video because it was all laced with words I can't play.
Right.
But he said, man, you got talentless European people running these organizations all because their family had bread.
Right.
And that just said it all right there, man. Yeah. Let me and again, no wrong answer.
Right.
How many black head coaches have you had over your entire career as an athlete? How many black head coaches have you had?
One. Yeah, one.
Wow.
Yeah, over my entire career. Uh-huh.
How many years you been playing your entire career from Little League all the way up? How many years you been playing?
23. No, I actually had two black head coaches in 23 years.
Still.
Yeah.
Still.
Right.
Think about that. I had to do it myself, bro, and I didn't go nowhere near as far as you.
Right.
But from Little League all the way up to my freshman year at Tulane,
mm-hmm.
You know how many I had?
How many?
None.
Exactly. Yeah, it's that's why I am the way I am, and it has to change. And if I have to be the sacrificial lamb for that change, so be it. Because I know that with these moves that are about to be made in regards to bringing the fans along on this journey, when it comes down to investments and all those different things, it's going to take the people. It's going to take all of the people speaking up and for what's right and not what's convenient, in order to really bring some balance to this thing. If you're going to have us on the field and we make up 70 to 80% of what's going on in the revenue that we're bringing in, we want to have some representation that looks like us. And that's fair is fair. It is what it is. So that's what we are with it.
Yeah, brother, I'm telling you, I'm a proponent of ownership. I love, bringing us in to run your organization.
Right.
But at some point, man, I want to run my own organization. And if I can't have my own organization in your league, I ain't opposed to starting my own league and bringing in other people like-minded to run the league.
Absolutely.
I mean, days of it just being one way or the highway are over.
Yeah, they are. They are. And that's part of the reason why I started my own league back in 2012.
Yeah.
I had foresight of everything that's going on. And I didn't know it at the time. But what we've done is we've set it up to where all it is just, hey, when people are finally fed up, here's a home. It's right here. And it's set up for everybody to win. So, we're going to keep trucking. We're going to keep doing what we're doing. But definitely with the fans, the way they are in regards to their mindset and what's going on out here in Houston, putting together a situation where they can chip in and put money into the pot and really get, incentivized offerings for them and for their hard work and their blood, sweat, and tears and their equity. They need to have something other than I'm paying you, for season tickets, and then I got to pay extra for tickets on the day of, and there's no any types of offerings regarding concessions and merchandise in regards to discounts and things like that. Those days are over. So that's what we're working on right now. And by the end of the month, man, I got to definitely come back and break down everything that we're doing because we want all the fans to have an opportunity to have ownership in what's going on, whether it be the Texans or any other NFL squad and any other teams that we're doing. We're going to have a full-fledged investment group that we're going to be able to have the fans be a part of it. And this is global. This isn't just in Houston. This is going to be a global situation. So the people, when I say the people are speaking, I'm dropping jewels and people are really speaking now, and I'm going to be the voice for them.
I hear you, man. I do. I appreciate you. I value you. I can't wait till you can share more. Tell everybody where they can find you, follow you, and keep up with all the amazing work that you're doing.
Man, it's that hashtag GJ for GM, man. It might be GJ for TO here pretty soon. So
I like that.
We'll see. We'll see.
Brother, if you make that change, I'm rocking with that. Garrick, thank you, man, for always being readily available. Thank you for coming in and making it make sense because, brother, it has not been making sense. I used to be a season ticket holder for the Texans when they first came out, 02 to 05. I had a PSL, a couple of PSLs. I'm hurting for the folks that got them now, man.
Bro, it's rough. It is rough. I'm actually talking to a lot of people right now, getting their input on what needs to be implemented when what we're going to do goes live, because they're spending a lot of money. I mean, a lot of money. And for the organization to be in turmoil like it is, and for the organization not to even acknowledge or listen to anything that they have to say is a slap in the face. The same way with the players. And it's sad. And it never should have gotten to this point. And it wouldn't have gotten to this point if I had the opportunity to go in there and really show them how this thing works and just be a part of rectifying what's going on. Like you said earlier, this isn't anything, a shot at the organization or I'm upset about not being picked. I just understand, now is this is what has to happen. It's nothing personal. It's business now.
Yeah. What's crazy is, a report came out earlier that the Texans dismissed their director of football administration and then also an equipment manager, Mike Parson. And Mike Parson has been with the team for what, almost
15 years. 15 years.
And, one of the most respected around the league. And the Texans didn't have any more use for him.
Right. Now it's there again. It's going to take a change in ownership in order to rectify this thing because it's just way too much cancer in that organization. So we're going to have to do this thing together as a unit, fans, players, just grandparents, children, the whole 9 yards. The people really have to speak up their ground, and we're going to make it happen.
Let me know when and where, bro. Let me know when and where.
Absolutely. You first. You're first. You're going to be first, bro. I promise you. You're going to be first.
These airways are always open to you, so just let me know when you need to come back. We got it.
Absolutely. I will, brother. I will.
All right, before we go, it's Black History Month, man. Who was the first Black athlete that had a major impact on you where you were like, oh, man, I want to be like him, or I love what he's doing, or her? Who was that first Black athlete for you?
Bo Jackson.
Jackson. The dude that was looking across the walls?
Bo was the guy. Bo was the guy. Bo is the guy because we used to have book fairs, and this was back in elementary. We had a book fair, and they had a Bo Jackson book that I purchased. I mean, with my own money, I hustled up and got it. So it was like just talking about the football aspect and the baseball aspect, how he grew up, how he was just naturally gifted, and then at the end of it, he had a Bo Jackson workout. So that's when I started really getting serious about it, and I wanted to be like Bo, and the commercials were going on with Nike and all those things, man. So I say Bo was the one for me, man. Just kind of watching how he was doing his thing. He was the guy.
Man, Bo was legit. Bo was the first two-sport athlete that I was just like, man,
right.
Sports, he dominated two sports.
Dominated. I mean, back to back. I'm like, wow. So, yeah. I got a big a signed Bo jersey and poster here, man. So it's real over here with me, man.
I ain't hating too hard. I ain't jelly. Garrett, have a great rest of your weekend, man. We'll be looking forward to having you back on again soon, man.
Man, I can't wait, man. It's time to do it.
All right, brother. Thanks again, man. Garrick Jones. Y'all hang on to that hashtag GJ4GM. That's where you can keep up with everything he's got going on. We definitely going to have him back soon. Blessed weekend, man.
All right, brother. You too, man.
All right, go Kansas City, too, by the way. I had to slide that in before he and Keith got off the airwaves. All right, listen, we got to get ready to go. Again, it's tax season. And if you need a great tax preparer, all you got to do is call Global One Tax Services. They'll come to your home if you'd like, or you can get your taxes done online or at their spot. Call Shannon Hinton, 281-377-5565. That's 281-377-5565. Tell them you heard it on KYOK. Don't forget, it's Black History Month, and African Imports has got all what you need to get ready for your Black History Month event coming up. They got some sales going on masks, scarves, kids' dashikis, adult dashikis, and ladies, you can get those beautiful African dresses for $39.99 and up. And be sure to tell them you heard it on KYOK. You'll get 10% off your purchases. African Imports right there in the Greenspoint Mall, near the food court. Tell them you heard it right here on KYOK. Their number, 281-875-0056. That's 281-875-0056. All right, let me go through real quick. Rockets are going to be in action again tomorrow when they host the Spurs at 7. They're coming off of a nice win over Memphis last night, 115-103. Dallas, no match at all for Golden State. Lost 147-116 in spite of 27 from Luka and 25 from Kristaps Porzingis. Kelly Oubre went off last night for 40 in that win. LeBron James moved into number 3 on the all-time list for made field goals, passing Wilt the Stilt Chamberlain and the Lakers 114-93 win over Denver. UT going to take on Oklahoma State tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Incarnate Word will be at A&M Corpus Christi tomorrow at 3:30. Stephen F. Austin at UNO tomorrow at 6. And then, of course, Sunday, Super Bowl 55, 5:30 Central, live on CBS. The Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Tampa. Now, Tampa is not going to be able to fire off the cannon every time the Buccaneers score. The NFL trying to keep it as a neutral site, but they will have the advantage of being familiar with the field, the lighting, everything like that. So it'll be an interesting game. I'm on record, Kansas City for me. All right, don't forget the 3 lunch breakers that are still competing for $600. I got to have your picks by 4 o'clock p.m. on Sunday. Hit me up, AJ@KYOKsports.com, AJ@KYOKsports.com, or you can text me 832-403-5005. Whoever comes out on top on this one will win $600 cash. All right, y'all. As always, let's not be divided. Let's be united. I love you. There's nothing you can do about it. Wear your mask, wash your hands, sanitize everything around you. Be sensitive to everyone around you. And when you see that racism, kill it. Not the person, but the racism. And then don't forget the homegoing services for Pastor Guster Booker will be next Friday from 11 to 5 at the Jutland location, 7701 Jutland. And then next Saturday, February 13th, viewing will be from 9 a.m. to 10:55. The homegoing service will be at 11 for Dr. Guster Booker. All right, y'all. Y'all take care. God bless.
know today. After a marathon meeting last night, House Republicans voted to support the leadership of Congresswoman Liz Cheney and to stand by Marjorie Taylor Greene. Cheney was one of 10 Republicans voting to impeach Donald Trump 3 weeks ago. House prosecutors have asked the former president to testify under oath for the Senate impeachment trial. In a letter, lead impeachment manager Jamie Raskin asked him to provide testimony under oath about his conduct on January 6th, either before or during the Senate impeachment trial. A barber who recently cut the hair of 2 Kansas City Chiefs players received a positive test result for COVID-19 Sunday.
The legendary 1140 AM KYOK Conroe and 92.3 FM K222CX Houston. Are you ready?
All right, y'all, man, I hope y'all enjoyed the show. I really enjoyed it. Again, we'll have more Black History Month stuff for you on Monday. And, of course, Keisha Kelly from Black College Experience will be joining me on Monday. We'll kind of go through the game from Sunday and everything that happened over the weekend, and we'll be talking more about the HBCU coaches, man. I'm trying to tell you, I'm giving them a lot of love because they deserve it. You know, you always talk about where the money reside, where the coaches reside. They're in the HBCUs. Y'all take care. Love y'all. Have a good weekend.